city, baby. When you see us, so you know you really viewing greatness in the making. Double up on facts we stating. Podcasting, cruise control, city, state, the nation. So what you saying, what we saying, prime information. Facts, keys to the city, we unlocking the statements.
Streaming every Friday.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. We're streaming on all social media platforms at Keys to the City. So comment, like, subscribe, share. You know the dealio. Or you can follow these guys, Ted Keys, at the Ted's Eats, as we got our new little segment, a part of the show called Our Favorite Side Dishes is going to be today. We've been doing food. We're going to be continuing that throughout the season, sponsored by the Ted's Eats. And you can follow also the Joseph McGuire at Twitter, at Podcaster Joe, or at the Roll Call, Clovercrest Media, or just anywhere in the world, because the Joseph McGuire is the do-it-all guy, because he is just that guy. What's better than the Joseph McGuire? But we got a lot going on today. We're going to be talking a lot of football. We're going to be doing our final top 10 list of the off season, because then after the next couple weeks, or if we have any more lists, that's on the other two, because we are a trio, so they can pick whatever they want before we do our previews for the AFC, NFC, and then the whole NFL season of 2021/2022. So we'll do our top 10 offensive players, non-quarterbacks. We have that, and our top 5 side dishes, like I said. And we're also going to talk about the quarterback competition, the rookies. Could we really see all 5 of those top 15, of those 5 quarterbacks, this big, great draft class that was drafted inside the top 15? Could they all be starting inside week 5? And which one is the most intriguing to us? Is it San Fran? Is it the battle in Chicago? Or is it the one in New England right now? We'll talk about that. But let's start off with some baseball. And ladies and gentlemen, again, it's a consecutive show that the Keys to the City trio is talking good about the New York Yankees. But also we have to talk about maybe the other best team in baseball. And these two teams coming into the season, these were the prohibited favorites, without question. These were the two teams, the two heavy favorites coming in. And then they had some bumps in the roads. They've been kind of trying to figure out their issues. But now they're back. They're both red hot. And that's the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers. So I want to talk about this because these two teams are on a roll. Offensively, pitching, winning series. They're just doing everything that we expected them to do in the beginning of the season. And like I said, they've had bumps in the roads, which is fine. All teams have bumps in the roads. But the great thing about baseball, other than any sport, and we all talk about it,
you can go over that bump.
Why people can't stand baseball at times is because there's 162 games and it's so long. Well, we're at almost September. You know what September means? It's coming up on baseball, postseason time, crunch time. This is the time where you want to see your best ball. So are the Yankees and Dodgers back to being baseball's best teams right now? And you say it maybe weirdly because, well, both teams are in second place currently in their division. So, Ted, I'm going to start with you. Are the Yankees and Dodgers back to being the baseball's best teams?
Well, definitely the Dodgers. I looked at it last night. We were talking about this last night when I had the guys over after the beach. Bueller 1, Scherzer 2, Kershaw 3, Price 4. I don't even know who their 5th starter is. But tell me a better starting rotation that you're going to face in a short series or any series. As good as the Giants have played this year, the Dodgers, I mean, they're playing great. They don't even have Mookie Betts. They're not even full strength anyways. You look at their whole team. They have all-stars everywhere you look. It's unbelievable. It's similar to the Yankees as an offensive line. The only thing I will say about the Yankees, and I do question this, is who's our number 2 starter going into the playoffs? Who's your legit number 2? You know Cole's got game 1. Who's 2? Who's going to be the number 2 against everyone else's 2? Because I don't know who that number 2 is. Is it Nestor Cortez? Is it Montgomery? Doesn't look like Severino is going to be ready. I mean, he had more inflammation and pain in his shoulder. Kluber's coming off of 3 months of IL. So who's your legit number 2 when it?
I would say Jameson.
Taillon. Taillon's been outstanding. He's been lights out.
He's been lights out.
Well,
and don't forget Domingo Germán when he gets back. He's pitched well all year.
But I just don't like. Well, I like Taillon, the answer to that, but Germán has not been there, so I question will he be ready? And like I said before the show, I said, are the Yankees peaking too early? Because right now, I think in the AL they're the best team in the AL right now. Right now, I know the Rays have a better record. I know the Astros have a better record. But I think if you had to take one team right now that would win the AL right now, it's the Yankees. They're the hottest team. Now, in the month or so, we might have a different answer to that question. But right now, the Yankees are the hottest team in the AL. It just proves that, Joe, you told me what, 16-4 since the start of August, 22-8 in their last 30. I mean, they're leading the league in stolen bases since the All-Star break. They're bunting. They're playing small ball. They're playing home run ball. Now they're playing their favorite team in the Minnesota Twins. So, this should be like me and Trev on the basketball court, just domination, 3-0, 4-0 sweeps easily.
I don't know what you're talking about, but you could keep going because that's a bunch of BS. Because I'll just beat you because I know when I'm on fire from shooting from three, you're just like you're done.
You're done. He's one of those kids that like you don't guard. He just stands like 30 feet away because he doesn't like to drive or post
like
up.
Russell Westbrook.
And he just shoots like 30 footers with his double hand shot, and it's just he gets lost.
It works.
Yeah, just like the little Giants. Hey, not bad.
They won. Joe, go on.
Since the Yankees lost 3 or 4 to the Red Sox July 22nd through the 25th, they've won 20 of 25 games. In their last 40 starts, 4-0. In their last 40 starts, the Yankees starting rotation has an ERA of 2.93. It was the 30th time in those 40 starts just yesterday that they allowed 2 runs or less in a start. So the Yankees starting rotation, while it doesn't have the names the Dodgers does, it certainly, to me, and I think Nestor Cortez, I mean, at some point, I think we're going to have to admit, this guy's pretty good. He doesn't do it the way everybody else does it, but at the end of the day, the results are what you're expecting from a quality starting pitcher. I think he very well may push himself into that 2 spot if Jameson Taillon doesn't. It's funny, earlier in the year, Taillon's pitching line generally was 5 innings if he could get through 5, 4 to 5 runs, 9 strikeouts. He did 9 strikeouts a whole bunch of times, and all the hits and runs were with 2 strikes on batters. And he kept saying, I wish I could put these guys away. And I thought, dude, if you start putting more of these guys away, you'd have like 14, 15 strikeouts a game. Are you kidding me? This guy just had to put it together. I think, when you look at Kluber had just started pitching well when he got hurt. And Jameson Taillon hadn't quite figured it out as quick as Kluber has, but it took him some time.
But do you worry, though, he's peaking too early because he was out all last year? He's only pitched, 1 inning in the last 2 years? Or he didn't pitch at all last season, I believe, right? And he got
I'm not worried about where anybody's peaking. I'll be quite honest. I mean, look, Trevor, you said it. It's a 162-game season, and I'm sure some people find that to be a grind. This sport is and always has been a marathon, not a race.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned it the other day, Bears repeating for any Red Sox fans that might tune in. I told you your pitching wasn't 162-game quality. It wasn't, and it still isn't.
They should have went after Scherzer.
Yep, seeing it more and more every day.
Who cares about that farm system? No one's gonna. Half those guys are never going to see the roster anyways because you have guys that are going to play. So hell with the farm system. Now knowing that you would have Sale back, who pitched a good game last night. You have Scherzer, Sale, Evaldi, who made the All-Star team. I don't know who there are others. Houck, I think, is one of the starters.
Yeah,
Houck. Now you got to look at them like, all right, our hitting is there. That would have made this team one of the favorites, I would have said.
Is it the reason why we say these are the 2 best teams maybe right now is because we trust them the most?
No, I don't trust the Yankees the most.
I think it's based on performance. I don't know how you could say you don't trust the Yankees. They've won 22 of their last 30 games. No one in baseball is even close to that.
No,
but
right now they're hot.
In the AL, who do you trust more than Ted?
You keep saying right now like this started 3 days ago. I just explained to you the starting pitching for the last 40 starts. 40 starts. Under a 3 ERA. Are you kidding me? What is there not to trust? You want to talk bullpens? Do you want to talk bullpens, bro? Go anywhere else you want.
Who do you trust?
Any other team. Tell me who's got a better bullpen, honestly. Like night in and night out. Who's got a better bullpen?
I would trust the Rays and the Astros more right now because I've seen these guys do this before where they get hot, they win streaks, and then the playoffs come and you bat 111.
The Yankees haven't been on a run like this in ages. To me, everything's clicking right now. And I think, listen,
they were hot
more,
like this.
Hold on, more important than anything, what did I tell you guys a couple of weeks ago? To me, look, the difference in this team simply is that that every night the Yankees are at least 8 deep with this batting lineup. It is outstanding. There's generally been, a Hagasioka or a Wade in every one of these lineups. But for the most part, it's 8 deep, and it really does make the Yankees a much tougher team to beat. And this team in its present state, 20-5 in the last 20. I mean, they're nearly unbeatable at this point. I mean, and imagine, imagine if the bullpen hadn't had the rough patch they've had the last month or so, the last 2 months maybe. Think about how much, dude. This team would be 25-0 in their last 25. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and then,
but here's the other thing, and this is what even brought this topic up in the first place. The Dodgers have been in second place for the majority of the season in the AL West. And that's when they weren't in third behind the Padres. And yet all season, the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. Dodgers are the best team in baseball. What are they going to spend a day in first place is my question. Are the Giants a better team than the Dodgers? Because if you're asking me, I would say yes.
The reason why they say it's just they're looking purely based off of the talent, and they have and the Dodgers.
Talent is great. If talent mattered, the Minnesota Twins wouldn't be in last place.
That's true.
Well,
sometimes it just happens. Saying that you've got a talent, because we've had this conversation. The Dodgers are so deep, yeah, but why can't they overtake the Giants? They're still 3 back.
I know.
They've not even gotten close to the Giants this year. I don't want to hear that the Dodgers are the best team in baseball unless you tell me the Yankees are the best team in the American League. If the second best AL East team is the best team in the American League, then the Dodgers can be the best in the National League. That's fine. But it's got to go both ways.
Here's the thing, too.
We talked about this, too. It's worth mentioning. The Yankees are still buried at like 8 or 9 in the power rankings behind the White Sox, whose asses they've kicked. Oakland's in front of the Yankees? Give me a break. Come on with that.
Here's the thing about the Yankees. Hold on. Here's the thing about the Yankees, and the thing that's been great in this whole run is that they've beaten every type of team. They've beaten the bad teams, the Royals, beating the Twins right now. They're beating good teams too. They've beaten the Rays. They've beaten the White Sox. They've beaten the Red Sox. They've beaten the Mariners. All teams that are playoff caliber, even some that could be World Series caliber. So that's the thing that I like about this Yankee run right now is that they're not just beating up on teams like the Orioles or the Royals or the Twins right now. They're beating every type of team that's given on their schedule. So they're going through all the highs right now with the bad teams and the good teams. They're beating the good teams like that, and then they're beating the teams that are bad. So they're taking care of business, which they should be because they are talented enough. And we said this coming into the season. This was the second probably odds-on favorite, other than the Dodgers, to win the World Series this year. So this shouldn't be a surprise that the New York Yankees are playing to where we expected them throughout the whole season. That's why we've had so many shows on this topic of the negativity about the Yankees, because we were so ticked off and peed off about it that we were like, why is this happening to this Yankee team? They were so talented enough that they couldn't get it going. Now we're finally seeing all the pieces coming together slowly, and you're going to get more pieces come back, and you're going to get all those. You're going to get the players back. You're going to get the pitching staff back. All those guys will start to get back into the groove of things, and everything will start to gel. And that's why it's so impressive right now with this whole run. And since the All-Star break, where we were saying, how many games do we think the Yankees are going to win, to a time that we thought maybe the Yankees might even win 90 games this season? They look like they're going to blow past 90 games now because of finally they're taking care of business and they're doing the right things. They're doing all the small things, the fundamentals, the balance. That's why I said the other day.
Well, they still have been making mistakes defensively.
Okay, that's fine. But I like that they have this great balance offensively with the speed and the power. I think it could go a very long way. And I know you guys both were saying, yeah, you want to have that 1 through 9 lineup. Be like, wow, who's going to stop that lineup? The Yankees, because we know how great that Yankees lineup could be. But we've seen at times when they go against good pitching how frustrating it could be for us Yankee fans. That's why I like this balance of speed, and I like the base stealing. I like the little small ball. I like what's going on because everything is working, and they're all starting to mesh now.
Joe, have you looked ahead of the schedule in September? I just looked quick. I just did a quick 2-3 week scroll. So they got the Braves coming up for 2 Monday, Tuesday.
That's a big series.
Then because the Braves have been playing really well.
Yeah.
Then they go for 3 out in Oakland.
That's a big series too.
Then they play the Angels. Then they come back with the Orioles, and then pretty much it's the Blue Jays, Mets, but then the rest of the month is all division. It's Blue Jays, Orioles, and Rays. Look at the schedule.
No, I look at the end of the schedule. You got all Baltimore, Cleveland could take care of business. Texas, you should beat on, and then you got I mean, these are a lot of games that look like they could be winnable games for the Yankees. That especially what they're playing like right now, all very, very winnable games.
All right, so listen,
the last 3 games of the season, God forbid they're close, are against the Rays.
9 straight division games to close it out, and I'll point out if there's one issue I think the Yankees have had all year, other than Baltimore, they've got the worst record in the division against the division. They're 27.
We've been saying that all year.
But as you just mentioned, the last time through, they beat all those teams up. Yeah. So this version,
they sweep the Rays last time. Didn't they sweep the Rays last time?
No.
We beat
2 or 3.
They lost 14-0. They could have. That was the 14-0 game.
This version of the Yankees is a better team than what was running out there earlier in the year. And so, yeah, I mean, and again, the way the pitching has been going, I just feel like that the Yankees are primed and positioned here to make a run.
I think both of these teams are primed and ready to make finally in that much anticipated World Series matchup that we've been hoping for years now. I could just see it now. These are the 2 best teams in baseball right now. I don't care if they're both in second place. They got the most talent. They're playing the hottest baseball. I know the Giants are still winning, and I know they should get a lot of credit for what they've been doing for a miraculous season. But the Dodgers are the best team in the NL West. They're the best team in the NL still, and they're going to be by the end of the year. And I expect the Yankees as well to be on top. These are the 2 best teams in baseball right now, the hottest teams in baseball, and it's showing in the standings. It's showing in the scoreboard, and it's just showing plain and simple in every game.
You know, I think if you look at the box score, you'll notice LeMahieu and Stanton and Judge and even some of the guys who had really low. I mean, I think Brett Gardner's up to like 218, as is Rudy Odor. Guys are hitting. And again, I know those averages don't sound great, but when you're hitting a $170 at the All-Star break, to get up to 218 is it says a lot.
It's almost 50 points in your batting average going up. That's
in the last 6. Luke Voigt's hitting .535 with 11 RBI. Guy wants to play ball. Get him in there. You know, you've got so much talent on this team, and this is the other thing. I mentioned this the other day, and my mom and I actually talked after the show we did the other day. And she was very relieved to hear some of the things that we had said. And one of the points I made, and I want to bring it back again, is Aaron Boone's sudden willingness to go with hot hands. Just something he's never been willing to do. I mean, to bat Luke Voigt leadoff, you're like, yeah, dude, that guy's on fire. Lead him off.
Yep.
Why not? You know,
well,
and again,
that's Joe Madden. Joe Madden did that with Rizzo. If you remember,
yeah, sure. And again, dude, to see him come get Chapman first and third in the 9th inning with 2 outs in the World Series, would he do that move? I think now he would. I think in years past, Chapman would have stayed there until Chapman gave up the lead and we lost the game. Aaron Boone is now smart enough to know, yeah, I got a lot of guys in this bullpen that can get some outs here. 6 Yankees have saves on the season. That's insane. We don't really do that. Remember last year when they were talking about all those guys on the Rays that had 5 or more saves?
Mm-hmm.
I was envious of that. And now you've got a Yankees team where, Jonathan Loaizaga, Chad Green, even that Luque guy comes in. Peralta's been great. Holmes has been great. I mean, everybody they run out there, like, he's not afraid to run a guy out there that he knows can get him 3 outs. He's got a lot of trust in a lot of those guys right now that aren't Chapman and Britton.
And how about the kid Haney the other night? He's got like the cold thing. He got to get through the first. He gives up the bombs in the first, and then he just settles down again. Had another great pitching performance.
All in all, to close out the baseball and the Yankees part, both of these teams are taking care of business, and it seems like they're starting to get into the group. They're starting to feel comfortable with themselves, and just imagine if the Dodgers had Trevor Bauer as well, of what that team could be, that pitching staff specifically. But that's a whole nother story, and who knows if we're going to see Trevor Bauer. I don't think we're going to see him for the rest of the season. Who knows what's going to happen with. But these two teams, like in the beginning of the season, there's a reason why those two teams coming in were the odds-on favorite. These two teams are starting to gel, and they're starting to play like New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Speaking, let's shift over to the NFL. Now it's time to talk some more NFL football. We're going to have our top 10 list in a few minutes, in a little while, and our top 5 side dishes sponsored by Ted's Eats. But I wanted to talk about this because this has been getting a lot of attention, this quarterback class. Can this go down as one of the best quarterback classes of all time? That is still a big TBD. We do not know how all these guys will pan out. Looks like 2 quarterbacks are going to start probably week 1. Jacksonville has not made Trevor Lawrence the official starter, but all signs lead to him being the starter for week 1. Zach Wilson looks like he's definitely going to be the guy, and I hope him nothing but the best because the Jets are in some tough situations right now. So he's expected to have it's going to be a tough rookie season. Let's not jump off the Zach Wilson bandwagon so soon. Let's wait and see what happens with that. The other 3 quarterbacks, 3 unknowns that are coming into this rookie season because of the competition, the guys that were in front of them. San Francisco has Jimmy G, a former quarterback that was in the Super Bowl. So let's see what happens with him. Chicago signs Dan Dalton. New England's got Cam for another year. These are the 3 teams that right now you're thinking, are they going to go with the 3 veterans or are they going to go with the 3 rookie quarterbacks right now? And everybody may be the most intriguing one. That's where I want to ask you 3 or you 2 right now, because it seems like we all thought, San Fran and Chicago might be the only ones. Well, I don't know about that, but New England looks like we might have a very intriguing quarterback competition heading down to the wire coming in week 1. So I want to ask, I'll start with Joe on this one. Joe, we've been talking a lot about this. We haven't really talked a lot about the New England one because we all thought signs pointed to Cam being it. But this Mac Jones, with his recent play in both preseason games, is that become the most intriguing quarterback competition coming into this season?
Yeah, well, and I do think Mac Jones will end up starting. If you watched that game the other night, my goodness gracious, he looks like a 5th-year pro. There's nothing rookie looking about him. And I think when you look at guys like Wilson and Lawrence and Fields, and especially Trey Lance, although I don't necessarily see him getting a lot of PT early, and definitely not starting out with the season. You want your guy to look like he belongs there, and you expect rookie mistakes, but at the same time, you want to see that bit of comfort level. I thought in Wilson's first game, he looked like he belonged in the NFL. I thought this guy will be here for a really long time. To see Mac Jones out on the field, dude, he is like cool as the other side of the pillow, as Stuart Scott used to say. This kid has had a way of walking in the quarterback rooms where Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa are in there, or it's Cam Newton, or he doesn't care. This kid believes in himself, and he's got a coaching staff around him, and he's been fortunate to go from Saban to Belichick. He's smart. He knows, got to know the playbook. If I know the playbook, I know where the guys are going to be, and then I could stick one of my super accurate passes there, and good things are going to happen. And that's what you're seeing. I love Cam Newton. You'll famously remember Cam Newton scored like a 4 on the Wonderlac test at the draft. One of the worst scores in history. And he did. I mean, he did. That's a fact. I like Cam Newton, but no one's confusing Cam Newton with Sir Isaac Newton. You know what I mean? He's not a really smart dude, and he certainly behaves like that sometimes. I will say a much more mature Cam over the last couple of years, and he's been super close with Mac, and he really likes Mac a whole lot, and he's been a big help to him, to his own detriment probably, because I think if Bill Belichick feels like Mac Jones is the better quarterback in 2 weeks, then I think Mac Jones very well could be the starter on day one.
Ted?
So the question is, what's the most intriguing? It's Chicago. That's the most intriguing one. San Francisco, Jimmy G is going to be the starter. But there will be a package, and I was listening on Colin the other day, and I know I reference this a lot, but there'll be a package every week for Trey Lance in the season. And then we'll just wait for Jimmy G to have a sprained ankle, and then Trey Lance will take over somewhere after week 6 because it's inevitable. We've talked about this last 3 weeks, and I'll just keep repeating myself until it eventually happens. The Chicago story is interesting because Andy Dalton's not the future. And the most pressure of any of these coaches that we're going to talk about with these 3 teams is the Chicago team. Kyle Shanahan don't have pressure. Belichick, he has pressure because of what Brady's going on. And after you spend
it's Belichick.
Well, and not even that. When your owner spends, the most money in free agency in the offseason, there's pressure to win then. There's an expectation to win. And now in New England, there's an expectation to win. Chicago's the most intriguing story because Andy Dalton's no future. He's a placeholder. He's literally holding the ball so I can kick off. The question is Justin Fields ready for week 1? You could say, hey, yeah, he looked good, but he didn't go. He didn't have his ones. He didn't go against the number 1. And if you listen to all the football guys talk about Fields and stuff, they say they love how he said confidence. The game was slow. He has no idea what the game is going to be in week 1 on Sunday Night Football.
Against the Rams.
When the Rams, I think that we're playing the Rams, right?
We're playing the Rams.
Even some of the other quarterbacks say there's a whole different level of speed between preseason and regular season. Even the best guys struggle in the first couple of weeks because they don't practice no more and they're not familiar with the game. That's the most intriguing one because Fields is the future. And the upside for him, Trev, you're an Ohio State guy, Joe. You've watched him since he transferred from Georgia to Ohio State. He's phenomenal. I mean, last week he had the 3rd fastest run on his scramble at 20.39 miles an hour of anyone in the preseason in week 1. So he can fly. And he can make plays with his legs with an offensive line that's not that good. It's good, but not that good. And you can do a lot with him. With Matt Nagy, you could scramble him out. You could do a bunch of stuff. And I don't worry about his confidence being wrecked. So the question will be, I mean, they did pay Andy Dalton $10 million, but I mean, at the end of the day, who gives a rat's?
$10 million for Andy Dalton.
For the guy. That's the most intriguing one. The thing with New England I question is I don't know if they'll start Mac Jones week 1. Even though he was 13 of 16 in the other preseason game, his average pass attempt was 4.6 yards throw. Sorry, that's not going to cut it in the NFL. Let's see him start throwing the ball more than 10 yards down the field, stretching the field, playing against number 1s. Mac Jones. I moved on to the New England thing. Brady
did it for 20 years.
Yeah, he's efficient. Got to throw the ball. That would be good for the backup running back stats, 4.6 yards a throw. Not for the starting quarterback. We've talked about this, Trev, before. You have to be able to stretch the field because then the defense creates.
He had an incredible throw to N'Keal Harry that dropped in his hands. They're getting hurt, but he could throw the ball. I mean, Mac Jones could throw the ball.
I still think Cam will start week 1. I think he gives him the best chance to win off the bat. But Joe, I'm going to reference to what we just talked about. Belichick, like Aaron Boone, will not be afraid to in the 9th to pull Chapman. Belichick will not be in the middle of the game if Cam Newton's struggling. See you later if rookie's going in. Week 1 or week 2. I want to see Cam, though, because here's what you hear about Cam. The players like him. The coaches like him. And he's going to get he got a full off season. He's healthy. He's getting a preseason. He's getting work. And I think he makes the offense a little bit more dynamic, considering they don't have any big-time receivers. Yeah, they have a couple nice pieces, but nothing dynamic. So he can add another value to that offense with the ability to run, as we saw last year, and with the multiple backs at. Now, what's to say that Bill Belichick doesn't put both quarterbacks in? He did Jalen Hurts. Bill Belichick did 2 on Jalen Hurts, 2 different type of quarterbacks. Why can't you do both? similar to what Kyle Shanahan might do with Trey Lance and Jimmy G.
Here's-
So, but I would still start Cam week 1. But I think,
Here's-
Joe, you're right. Mac Jones looks let me put it this way, Trev, and I'll end on this. Watching Trevor Lawrence, I know is playing for Jacksonville. And then you watch Mac Jones. Mac Jones looks a lot better in the preseason, just from appearance-wise, just his ability to process things than Trevor Lawrence did. Trevor Lawrence looked like the 5th quarterback should have been taken. He looked like a guy that was struggling, not reading the zone blitzes, not reading coverage really well, forcing the ball. Mac Jones, you could see almost
Mac
already.
Jones has great awareness, great poise in the pocket. He just has the smarts. You could just see it. The Trey Lance thing, I could see that Jimmy G is going to be odds-on starting, but I'm not going to be surprised. I think all 5 quarterbacks are going to be starting by week 5. I really do. I don't think the Chicago thing, if Chicago's smart, I think they should play Justin Fields. I don't think Andy Dalton gives you any chance to give you any confidence. For a team that's in a prime position to compete for a playoff spot, I think Justin Fields gives you the best option. That's why I think New England's is the most intriguing competition, because coming in, I don't really take Andy Dalton serious. Jimmy G's just there. It's kind of like all these quarterbacks are just there. This New England situation is so fascinating because, Bill Belichick is sitting there like, well, Cam's looked pretty good in preseason too. He had some great zip on the ball against the Eagles. I know it was against a lot of backups, but whatever. You got to see if the guy is good enough to play. If he can't play against backups, what makes you think he's going to be good against starters?
Right.
So Cam had a lot of zip on the ball. He went 8 for 9 in the game against the Eagles. But Mac Jones, he's made some tremendous strides. I really thought that Mac Jones wasn't good. Joe, we've talked about Mac Jones since last year with college football, and we're just like, does he really play the part? Does he really look like he's going to be in the NFL? You just don't buy into him. But then you see him in his first 2 preseason games, and you're like, I don't know. Bill Belichick, there he goes again. There goes that master, Bill Belichick, just doing what Bill Belichick does. Doesn't he? And this is what makes it even more fascinating. Bill Belichick didn't have to trade up. He didn't have to do anything. He just stayed pat and said, great, I could still get Mac Jones. I don't have to trade anything like the Bears had to when they saw Fields available after the Eagles and the Giants were sitting there. They had to go make a move. Bill Belichick didn't have to do anything, but we all thought, the Patriots are going to make a big move. They're going to go try to trade up. They didn't have to do anything. They stayed right back.
That's on all the other teams. Not
and then you got to think about. You also got to think about it. Okay, you got Cam, an athletic quarterback that when he plays well, he's a playmaker. He's not a quarterback. He's a playmaker. It's like Michael Vick. Michael Vick was a quarterback, but he was a playmaker because of the play that what he can do with his legs. Strong arm, but he always went back to running the ball. That's what he was always his greatest strength. Now you got Mac Jones. You got a precision passer, an accurate thrower, a guy that, yes, he hasn't thrown the ball deep, but I saw a nice, pretty ball the other day to N'Keal Harry, who should have caught the ball, ended up getting injured on the play. But Mac Jones just has the feel of the game, just has the look to being a Patriot quarterback. He just feels like, to me, he's going to be starting sooner than what we all anticipated coming into this season. That's why I say I think all 5 quarterbacks, we already know Lawrence and Wilson are going to start. I don't care what Jacksonville says. Lawrence is going to be the quarterback. If he isn't, then Urban Meyer's a dumbass then. Plain and simple. I'm sorry. Gardner Minshew should not be playing quarterback anymore. Sorry, all you Minshew Mania fans. That was just a little Jeremy Lin thing. Get it away from you. It's gone. Okay? Zach Wilson's going to start. Trey Lance will eventually start because we all think Jimmy G will get injured at some point. It sucks to say, but it's just how it is. Justin Fields should start week 1. I don't care. Throw the rookie into the Wolves and see how he pans out. And if he's going to be – sometimes you got to do it. They get stronger if you just throw them into the Wolves at times. That's what happens. And then this Patriots situation, you're right, Ted. You said it. If Cam has a bad game, couple games in a row that he's just like, yeah, they're not winning, the games that they should be winning, he's going to be like, what am I waiting for? I'm getting older in my life, Bill Belichick. I need to win now. I'm seeing Brady do well in Tampa. He just won a Super Bowl. Looks like he can repeat. Guess what? I got to give the rookie a chance. And he's looked his part. I think the New England situation is definitely more intriguing than the Chicago and San Fran situation, only because Justin Fields I expect to be starting week 1, and Trey Lance I don't see starting week 1. I can see Mac Jones, if he keeps playing well, he got one more preseason game. Never know.
I've been in on Mac Jones since day one.
You've been a big.
Yeah, Joe, you said he should have won the Heisman right there.
Yeah, and I'll say this.
I thought
Look,
he should have too.
It was to listen. I'm not trying to I'm a guru. There was something about this kid that I just all right a little bit. I just because I do these sorts of things. Last week, Virgil Ortiz Jr. I called it 8th round knockout. Nailed it again. But anyway, I'm good. I'm good like that.
You said Gary Sanchez is going to be the greatest catcher of all time. How's that going for you?
He said McGregor was going to knock out by Poirier.
Yeah.
Remember? The first one. Yeah. The first one we got knocked, not the one where he broke his head.
Yeah, remember when he said Gary Sanchez was going to be the best catcher in the game, and that really's backfired on him.
Yeah, he's Gary the second best behind Salvatore Perez. Is the only catcher that's better than him. So I'm still right there. But listen, I got in on Mac Jones last year, and I stayed with it. And I got to tell you, dude, this guy's never let me down. And so when it came time for the draft, I'm riding the Mac Jones train because everything I've read about this kid, everything I've seen, I watched a lot of Bama games last year, was super into last season. And I've never been a big Bama fan before, but just something about this dude, man. His teammates love him. They talk about how smart he is. He's got a great sense of humor. He's just a fun person to be around. He's not very serious, but he plays serious.
You know,
and I like that.
Joe, you know what he reminds you of? Tom Brady, right? Guys love him. They all talk about. They had it with Sean McCoy the other day. And they were talking about Brady, like how he good and fun. Like he is serious, but like he keeps it loose. He got the guys. He's good with everyone. Like they both look like fat white guys that are like on the beach, like in their regular photos. For the like, you know what I mean? Like there's like no muscle. Like wait, you're an NFL player. Like, you know what I mean? Like Mac Jones kind of like looks the part, like smoking a cigar in the after part. You know, afterwards. Like, oh no, that was Joe Burrow, but still.
Get together, Ted.
Mac Jones did it too, didn't he? Wasn't he smoking a cigar? Wasn't there a picture like Jalen Hurts?
That was like a long time. That was like a long time ago, I think.
But yeah, he has his swag. His nickname is Mac and Cheese. Like
Yeah, that's what Cam gives him. Cam calls it that.
I'm telling you, there's just something about this kid, and is just saw the question come up: what's holding the Bears back from Justin Fields? For the life of me, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, if Andy Dalton was the Andy Dalton of like 3 years ago, I could see you go, all right, we're going to start him. And when the kid's ready, he'll play. Yeah. But I would say this, I think when other than Trey Lance, and again, this just comes down to, this isn't talent. This is just an experience and games played sort of a thing. I think he's going to be the last one to become a starter unless Jimmy G goes down in a heap. But sooner.
He needs the most work. If you looked at all these quarterbacks, Wilson was a 3-year starter. Lawrence was a 3-year starter. Mac Jones was a 2-year starter, and Fields was
a 2-year starter.
Two and a half year starter.
Yeah, again, dude, and no disrespect to Trey Lance, but this is the NFL, and then one game at South Dakota State or whatever the hell it is that isn't quite getting you prepped for hitting the ground running.
But also
every one of these guys, when he's ready to go, is starting and
sometimes that pans out where you do sit and wait because it has worked for a lot of guys in the future.
Also, you got to take into consideration that what the San Francisco 49ers traded up to get this man, so they got to play their cards as well. Smart.
Here's the thing: it doesn't have to. They didn't make this move for him to be the Super Bowl quarterback this year. They made him so he's the star quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years, that they get a Mahomes. That's what they're hoping for. That's why you make the move. I know that might sound ignorant because you're like, wait, this is a winning Super Bowl team right now. But Jimmy G brought this team to a Super Bowl too. So Jimmy G could do it again. And if it has to be a combo quarterback duo throughout the year where you're using Trey Lance like in a Taysom Hill package where defenses and other teams have to respect. Listen, that they said the other day, if you have to prepare for both quarterbacks, that's time taken away from your studying of one offense. Now you have to practice for 9. And it's not like you have all day to practice. There's limitations. There's rules to that. So you have to be prepared for multiple things. And it's just going to make the 49ers more dangerous considering they don't have any star weapons outside of Kittle.
Well, let's talk about prepping for stars and giving respect to the stars. This is going to be, I think, maybe, unless, like I said early in the show, unless we come up with another top 10 list, this should be our final top 10 list of the NFL offseason, because we're going to start previewing the AFC and NFC next couple of weeks, and then we're going to do our NFL preview. So this is going to be, we did top 10 defensive players last week. We've done top 10 coaches. We've done top 10 players in our league. And we've even done, I think, top 10 quarterbacks we've done. Now we're going to do the guys that make the big bucks, that, well, it is an offensive league. So we're going to talk top 10 offensive players, non-quarterback. So people that are just coming on, if you see, oh, why is Patrick Mahomes not on there? It says non-quarterback. I literally put non-quarterback for each of our things. So you smart people that watch our show know we're not putting any quarterbacks on. So let's start off. We're going to start off with Ted's list for both of these because, well, first of all, his food is sponsored by Ted's Eats, so we're going to have him do it first, both. So, Ted, here is Ted's top 10 offensive players, non-quarterback. I have a problem, Ted.
I know you do.
I do. I don't like that, and I hate to say this, I don't like that Saquon Barkley's on the list. Because I don't consider him a top 10 offensive player right now.
Listen, you didn't answer my question. Are we talking dangerous or best?
Top 10 offensive players.
Well, then
all right,
Barkley,
I've got two problems with this list.
I love it.
Number one, who
Is
the
this-
hell's number 6 on your list?
Is it McCaffrey?
I thought I said
Ted, you
that.
skipped 6?
Did I say
Ted doesn't even have – Ted put
Wait, hold on.
9.
Yeah.
What a fool.
Wait, hold on.
Ted, go back to math class.
Wait,
You're
I
done.
did skip 6. I went 5,
Well-
7, 8, 9, 10. That's what's even better.
Yeah.
See, I always told you I was a
Can I
smarter
tell you
brother.
something? If you're the producer, aren't you supposed to double check the list and say, Ted, you forgot one before you post it on the show, you idiot?
Oh,
Yeah.
of course it's always my fault.
Well,
because
hey,
the
if
name
you're the
can't
one
count.
posting it,
I just did it off. Look, I just did it. I was just trying to put it in. So give me a 6. Who's your 6th player then? Who would be your number 10?
Zeke.
Yeah, okay. Zeke. Fine with me. So what is your other question, Joe?
Well, number 6 was a huge one, obviously. And yeah, I guess, for me, we talked about this last week, and you're doing that thing, Trevor, where you're cool with McCaffrey.
It's not
cool with Barkley.
This is Ted's list.
No, I understand that, but you and you pointed it out on his list. I don't like Barkley on the list, but you like McCaffrey on the list. I'm just curious why you extend the courtesy to the non-New York player, but not to your own.
Because I've seen McCaffrey do it more than Barkley has. Barkley can't stay on the field. I just know what McCaffrey could do. I need to see Barkley come in this year and have a massive year. There's a lot of pressure on Saquon Barkley this year. I love Saquon Barkley. I think he's one of the top. I put him right outside the top 10. My thing is, I'm not putting him like all the way down the list. He's definitely
Dalvin Cook ahead of him?
He's in,
Dalvin Cook.
He's within grasp of my top 10 players, I would say, Barkley. When he's on the field, he's one of the most explosive and one of the best playmakers.
I'm a little shocked that Dalvin Cook is not on this list and DeAndre Hopkins is, because I would say Dalvin Cook had a better year last year.
I know that, but
no, I'm not.
No.
I'm not.
If I'm doing running back,
Why Derrick Henry at 10? For all the
Huh?
people that say that's Hunter Henry, it's Derrick Henry. Fools.
They're joking.
I don't care. They're fools.
No, they're not. They're not joking.
No, they're not joking. They're fools. And I called you out.
I wish you fixed it for me right now and put the 6 in. But so everyone slide down. McCaffrey 6. Kamara. What is it?
Do you want me to get rid of it and edit it right now for you?
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Zeke is because the reason why Henry is where he is because the other guys can catch the ball and are more dynamic. But Derrick Henry is the most dominating running back force in the game.
And yet he is number 4.
And he also had 2,000 yards rushing.
And yet he's number 4 on your list.
Yeah, because Kamara, Barkley, and McCaffrey are much more dangerous because of their ability to do both. They can play receivers, running back, tight end, wing backs. They can play quarterback if they needed to.
Okay.
That's how I would take them. Dynamic.
What do we get? What grade are we giving this?
I'm surprised you guys didn't jump on the top 3.
I mean, Kelsey.
Your top 3 is my top 3.
No, it isn't.
And you notice it's receivers. And you notice it's receivers too.
What do I know?
You know it's receivers too.
I don't listen. I don't have a terrible problem with saying that Travis Kelce. I mean, he sets everything up there in KC. Everything he makes Mahomes' life so much easier. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a big problem with that one.
DK is not a top 10 offensive player. Stop it, please. Please.
He's not. He runs one route.
Stop.
7 routes.
Whoever the Facebook user is, this is
He does not run. He does not run good routes. I put Stephon Diggs in before DK Metcalf. Ugh.
Well, let's get get the DK. Stop with the infatuation. AJ Brown is a better receiver than DK Metcalf.
Julio Jones is a better receiver than DK Metcalf. Should I keep going?
Like I said, Joe, fools.
Let's go to mine. Let's go to my list. All right. Devontae Adams is the best wide receiver in the game, hands down. Derrick Henry is the best running back in the game, hands down. And I slightly value receivers over running back. So there's your 1, 2. Best all-around player in the game, number 3, Alvin Kamara. Kelsey, obviously the best
player. Wow.
Huh?
He's been dynamic since he's come into the league. I don't think he's ever.
I love Kamara. Don't get me wrong. I love Kamara.
I think he does all the things that we want Barkley and McCaffrey to do, but he actually does do it every year and for all 16 games. Yeah. Kelsey, best tight end of the game. I think Dalvin Cook is, other than Derrick Henry, the second best pure runner in football. Love Tyreek Hill. Is one of my favorite receivers. Him and Diggs, to me, it was close. I squeezed D-Hop in there at the end. I felt like he could have fallen off this list. Stephon Diggs obviously has turned into a superstar. Nick Chubb doesn't get enough respect.
Yeah, why Nick Chubb?
This is just an all-around great offensive player. If you look what happened, everything about the Browns last year, to me, all came down to Nick Chubb and how good Nick Chubb is as a runner. And so that's why he's where he's at. And then I put CMC at the end of this list. So again, sort of going off your mindset, I would put Barkley around 11. I mean, I think there's a lot of guys. It's not that I would
have Barkley I would have Barkley right outside.
No, fair enough. I'm giving you a hard time a little bit. I just don't want to see McCaffrey third on anybody's list because to me he didn't do it. And I'm sure he's going to do it this year and I'm sure it'll be great, but everybody's got to be penalized the same. I think this list is dynamite. Do you guys agree?
Here's my thing. If you think Alvin Kamara is who he is, then he should be in front of Henry.
I'm going with best pure running back and my best pure receiver.
We're talking best offensive player, so you have to add in everything. That means blocking. That means catching the ball. He's not.
I love how Derrick Henry blocks. He's a better blocker than Kamara, so that and the 2,000 yards balanced them out. Dude, 2,000 yards gets you number 2 on the list.
Jason might be on this.
Listen, it's hard to rush for 2,000 yards and for me to be like, who's another really good running back? Bullshit. That guy.
But that guy. I don't think Derrick Henry was voted the best running back, rated as the number 1 running back. I don't think he was in Madden, and I don't think he was in the player rankings either. I believe there was other running backs.
Yeah, I don't care what John Madden thinks. Isn't he dead really at this point?
No, he's not dead.
Joe. What? Slow down a minute. We talked about this last year because I said
ratings are real, Joe.
I know. I said Kyler Murray. Remember, I said Kyler Murray was in 87, and I think he was in 88, and everybody was flipping out. And I'm like, dude, come on,
Joe.
It's an 87.
My problem is they still have Colin Kaepernick as a higher overall rating than Justin Herbert.
That's a joke.
No, and that's no BS. That's no BS.
I don't want to hear the name Colin Kaepernick on the show anymore.
Did the Madden ratings, did they maybe take into account a different statistic, social activism? Because that would explain the high rating.
CK.
Yeah. So here's my top 10 list.
Well, you had Kelsey too, Devontae.
Why? What is your obsession with Darren Waller?
What do you mean obsession?
You love that guy. You really do.
He's had 200 receptions the past 2 seasons. He's one of the most. He's unbelievable. He's had.
You're explaining your obsession now. Good, go.
He's had 1,200 yards receiving in both of his seasons. I think he's I think he's an incredible weapon.
You would put Waller over Kittle? You would put Waller over Kittle?
Kittle's at 6. Kittle's at 6.
Oh, I apologize.
I don't think Ted knows how to read number 6.
Yeah, he does not know how to go to.
He didn't add it on his list and skipped over it on yours. Did you see it on mine?
8.
I actually counted his again to make sure. I'm like, he doesn't look like he has 10, but I forgot he put all nicknames for these guys.
AK-41.
I'm surprised is he only has 3 running backs.
300. I have 4 running backs.
4 running backs. 3 tight ends. Wait, and you only have 2 and 3 receivers.
Yeah, see, I can't see McCaffrey being 4th. That's obnoxious.
Joe,
that's obnoxious. You can't say Barkley doesn't get to be on the list because he didn't play, and that you got McCaffrey 4th because, dude, your boy Waller played last year. deabtes, D Cook, AK, all these guys played.
First of all, I'll tell you this. First of all, Christian McCaffrey could be the number 1 player on this list because if you look at the first 3 games that he was playing last year, he was like it was unbelievable.
He was incredible.
Yeah.
His numbers were incredible.
But he got injured.
But Trev, honestly, Trev, you look at both of us on the show and you put Darren Waller over Saquon Barkley is ridiculous. I'm sorry. Offensive player. This is
6 Lexia. That's really funny.
Don't hate on my Darren Waller pick. I think he's a stud.
Listen, he's a stud. I'm not taking over Barkley.
If Kelsey gets the credit and Kittle gets the credit, Darren Waller should be getting the credit too because he's incredible. From what his story was to where he is now and how he's dominating.
So then maybe take McCaffrey out of your top 10.
No, not at all. I put Derek number 1, so probably down with the running backs.
All right.
King Henry, yeah, that's what I thought.
As long as I get Henry at the top, it's all I care about.
Of all the lists, if I actually had a 6, but I like Joe's the best. But
mine's the best.
I would have just rearranged a couple things.
Mine's the best list. It's a joke.
First of all, Darren Waller should not be.
Ted's right.
Darren Waller's great. I'd put him in the 10 to 15 range, not in the top.
It's like Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb should not be
like in the 10 to 15 range. Nick Chubb is not a top 10 offensive player.
Oh, I totally disagree.
If he's a top 10 offensive player,
Barkley's better than him. Dalvin Cook's better than him. Derrick Henry's better than him. Chris McCaffrey's better than him. So is King Henry. So is your best player that you said ever, Alvin Kamara. So there's that's 5. And you know what? Let's be honest. I think for fantasy, I think he's going to have a huge year. Everyone forgets how good Zeke is. I know he's gone downhill, but he's the lightest he's been since college years. He's down to like 220.
Oh, we're talking fantasy now? Should we do top 10 fantasy players next week?
Well, fantasy is different because quarterbacks get, depending on your scoring system, if it's 3 points for every 10 yards.
Should we do top 10 fantasy? Should we do?
Do you guys realize that Nick Chubb averages 5.6 yards a carry, dude? I mean, every time this guy touches the ball between running and receiving, that this guy averages honestly about 7 yards a play, catch or pass.
Oh yeah,
that's insane.
He might not even be the best running back on his team.
No, he's definitely the best running back on his team.
Do you remember how good Kareem Hunt is?
Kareem Hunt's great. He's fine, but
he's a better kicker.
There's a reason he plays backseat to Nick Chubb in Cleveland.
He's a better kicker, right, Joe?
No, he's got a good leg on him. He really does. And you can't ignore that when you're balancing these guys out.
So he should be on the list because he's an all-around.
Maybe Devontae Booker should be on the list too.
Devontae Booker.
I'm joking.
Maybe Alfred Morris should be on this list.
He got cut.
Oh, Joe was very upset about that. Maybe we should put Mike Glennon on this list. What do you think? Next, we should do top 10 backup quarterbacks.
Also, Nick Chubb has an 89% reception rate. Only 2 balls got thrown his way last year. Here's
my question. You need to make a play. You need to make a play. You put Barkley or Chubb in the backfield, Joe.
Chubb. Right now, Chubb. I've seen him do it. I saw him do it all last year. I saw him help Baker Mayfield become a playoff quarterback and a franchise quarterback in Cleveland. And he's a Baker Mayfield owes Nick Chubb and the defense in Cleveland everything. Plain and simple.
Let's get over to
that. Could have been the Giants' running back, Nick Chubb, if they went the way we wanted them to draft.
I wish it was. I love
Quentin
Nelson.
Quentin Nelson at guard with Chubb, and then we still have Eli Manning as our quarterback.
Let's close out with our food. As we've been talking food the past couple of weeks, sponsored by the Ted's Eats. We're going to be doing this week our top 5 side dishes.
Can I tell you something? I thought this would have been real easy last week when I said it because it just popped in my head.
Actually, tougher than you think. It was tougher than you thought.
This is tougher because I was like, don't say the word. This is not like when you go to the Italian dish. I'm like, oh yeah, fried calamari, fried moods. I'm like, wait, those are not side dishes. Those are appetizers. Then.
Oh, don't worry. We'll continue our food part of the show next week with top 10. Maybe top 5 Italian dishes.
Well, Jace told us his. He loves fries. So.
Well, thanks, Jace. Anyways, we're going to get with Joe. We're going to talk with Ted because, Ted, this is your part of the show. So we're going to start with Ted's top 5 side dishes.
I got all 5. I didn't have to go to 6.
Got 5. Hey, because
hey, look at that.
No, do you know why he got 5? Because he didn't have to go to 6.
Yeah, this wasn't a top 6 list. Dude, this is great. Mac and cheese, Cheetos / chips.
Oh, he loves Cheetos.
Do you like Cheetos?
Oh, if you try to take
my 8-year-old also likes Cheetos.
Joe,
if you try to steal from his Cheetos, he'll know.
Joe, okay, true story. First of all, Cheetos to me is like heroin, and I don't know what heroin feels like, but that's what it feels like. If the heroin it was that good. There was a couple years ago, Trev was visiting me at a house that I was staying at. And I had a big bag of Cheetos, like the large bag. And I was just sitting in the kitchen eating it, handfuls in my mouth. And Trevor was like, stuck his hand. I was like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, you're not going to share? I was like, no. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, bro. You're not.
It was the massive part. It was the family size.
That's some crack for you there, huh? You can't help that. I get it.
Why rice?
Foods like that.
Why rice?
And now I could have done 3 and 4 together. I just felt they were separate categories. And then 5 was my rice.
Why rice?
Love rice. Side of rice, like salmon with rice and veggies. Get the pork fried rice from the Chinese.
Rice is solid.
Restaurant.
Yeah. Rice anywhere is good.
Give me some good rice. Come on, man. You don't gain weight.
Wait until you see Joe's list. Joe's list is real different.
So what do you have to say about it? Come on. There's got to be
mac and cheese. I think mac and cheese is in my top 2. So. It's all in our list. Mac and cheese.
The Cheetos chips is the only thing. I mean, I get it for you personally. I don't know that I would argue that Cheetos or chips are a side dish.
Yes, it is.
Just a spot on your plate.
Joe, you know why? Because when you go to the deli, what do you get for like $9.99? Chips, sandwich, and a drink. That's your side.
Oh no, I get it, and it's the sides. Totally.
Listen, Joe. When you go to the restaurant and they give you a sandwich, sometimes you can get the homemade potato chips. That's the side dish. You have chips and what? Joe, do you have a sandwich and what do you have with it? You have chips with it.
No,
right?
But see, this is where we diverge.
I don't want no soup. I'm
like, hey, can I get some coleslaw back there?
Oh, here we go.
That's how I want the coleslaw with my sandwich.
So we're gonna
listen. If you hold on, can we before we go any further? Have you guys not had coleslaw?
It's gross.
Yeah, on my barbecue.
No. Don't say it's gross. Have you had coleslaw?
Yes, I've had it. Yes,
I don't eat it out of the
Are you looking at the coleslaw from a diner and you're like, that's gross? Because that's not it.
It is. First of all, it is gross, but it's great when it's on the barbecue pulled pork sandwich because it takes.
That's the only time I'll eat coleslaw is if it's on a pulled pork sandwich.
Okay, fine. Then my new thing is that it's on a pulled pork sandwich.
Macaroni salad, potato salad. That's gross. Okay, but this is my particular eating thing because I don't like coleslaw with cabbage and this whatever kubaya in it. No, I don't want any of that junk. Actually, coleslaw is nice. White coleslaw, though, if it's with the vinegar and the oil over the taco.
Now listen to this guy. He's all over the place. He hates the coleslaw, but he likes some coleslaw. How about a good summer slaw? Have you tried summer slaw? It's even better than the regular thing.
You throw some strawberries in there. You throw some hot sauce in there.
Bro, let me tell you something. When I go to a golf course and I get a sandwich on the turn,
you get
I am literally ranking. My buddies all know it. They know me. They know I love a good slaw. A good slaw will make any lunch especially a sandwich, even better than it was on its own.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Anyways, Joe.
Don't this coleslaw. You know what? I'll tell you guys what. I'm gonna make a list of the top 5 coleslaws.
Hold on. Hold on. Before we get into Joe's list, I want you to know where he put coleslaw when he just talked for about a good minute and a half.
5.
Yeah. He put it at 5. He didn't even put it as number 1.
Capri salad. How many times do you eat a Capri salad?
Are you serious? Bro, you know what a caprese salad is? It's the tomato with the mutts. It's an easy thing to make. I make that
this Italian guy doesn't
twice
know
a week.
Ted, why are we not recording this on Ted's Eats right now? This should be.
Dude, I honest to God, over the summer, I probably had at least 24 caprese salads. And I'll tell you what, ask my family, that's one of those things I won't share.
Oh, no. I love it. But the problem is I'll eat all the moots.
I love tomatoes as much as I love moots. I'm in heaven. It's my favorite side dish.
So let me ask you, why coleslaw is number 5 when they just praised it?
Can I tell you why? Because I knew I would be attacked and I would be harassed and ridiculed and insulted for putting coleslaw on the list, period. So I tried to do right by you guys. I thought everybody likes fries. You guys both had fries. Yep. Potato/macaroni salad.
That's good.
Mac and cheese. That's always great. And then I thought, hey, we're all Italian. Everybody here likes a caprese salad. Hey.
Should have put gabagool if you're going to do that.
And I had to be honest with myself. 5, I was real, and I'm like coleslaw. See, because that is a great side dish.
Joe, you know what's funny is when like the summertime, you have all the cookouts. I can't do it. I cannot do macaroni and potato salad. It bothers me. I don't like the mayo with it. Now you go.
What I'm talking about.
I did spend a lot of time on my number 5.
Listen, you know what's funny is we talked last week that I love tuna, but I can't have macaroni salad or potato salad. Can't eat it. Yeah, grosses me out.
I love macaroni salad. No, Jace.
Jace, you know what's up, man. Dude, listen. When it comes to food, trust us big guys. We know what we're talking about.
Oh, we like food. We like food too. We might not be big, but we got food.
I definitely got to move mac and cheese though in front of the potato macaroni salad. I can respect your honest opinion, but come on, mac and cheese, macaroni, potato salad.
Now hold on. Let's talk potato salad for a minute.
You're outside. You're having the cookout. There's macaroni salad bowl sitting there, and there's someone brings out the fresh baked macaroni and cheese. You got the crumbles over the top. You're gonna scoop out the macaroni salad first before the mac and cheese? Not me.
If it's macaroni salad with tuna in it, especially, yes.
Oh, I love macaroni salad with tuna.
Let's jump to the other side of the dish. Let's talk about this potato salad for a minute. I'm talking about German potato salad. Yeah, I had the German potato salad. It's a bit tart. It is outstanding.
My sister makes a good potato salad.
Listen, there's potato salad, and then there's just potato with mayonnaise. You know what I mean? Like a potato salad.
Yeah, you gotta get the sides in there.
Loaded potato salad is really good. The German potato salad is really good. If you're just eating potato salad, I could see where you wouldn't be crazy about it. Same with macaroni salad. You got to have something in there. Once you put the tuna into the macaroni salad, it's its own meal. It's like a casserole.
Are you done?
Oh, wow, Joe, if you're only this passionate about sports. Yo, Trev, did you see Jared's one above that? We should.
Oh, yeah, it was hilarious.
Tuesday. We call it Joe Eats Coleslaw and call it Joe's Law.
Oh, my God. Okay, so let me finish with my – I'm probably going to get a lot of backfire on this one, but I'm okay with it.
You're a weird guy. French fries.
Weird guy. I love broccoli. It's good for me.
I actually had – you know what's funny? My number 5 was originally steamed vegetables. Because I was like, I love like when you go to like the steakhouse, you get like the steamed vegetables or the broccoli, or you get like the grilled asparagus with the Parmesan over it.
Do I have the best food list again?
Salad though?
I love salad. I love a nice salad.
Very generic as far as side dishes are concerned. Are we talking wedge? Are we talking?
No, just a regular salad, maybe with some maybe with a nice egg on it. Put some bacon bits on it.
Cobb salad. You want the Caesar? The Caesar.
No, I'll do a Cobb salad.
I don't want no.
I feel like a wedge, a nice wedge salad there.
No,
the iceberg.
That's the dumbest thing in the world.
Joe, maybe he wants a coleslaw with salad.
Maybe he wants coleslaw.
He should. I let's talk about your list. Your list is to the French fries, the mac and cheese. You got that fine. Chips, it's a little high
American.
for chips.
I love chips.
Yeah, very much.
I had broccoli.
I like broccoli, so I didn't put broccoli on my list because Ted made fun of my carrot sticks before I even made my list last week. So I try to like man up my list a little bit, you know.
That's what I'm
like my list. My fives originally cauliflower was on there, and I thought
that stuff.
These guys will hammer me. No, let me tell you something,
Joe. If you put the cauliflower, you chop it up and put it in the air fryer, and then you take some of the Archie Morris buffalo sauce and you blend it.
Yeah, my job has it. It's called angry cauliflower. It's gross.
I will make you, Trevor, at some point. I will make you the greatest cauliflower dish you've ever eaten in your life, and you won't even know you're eating cauliflower until you're done. And then I'm going to tell you that
because you live in Florida and COVID will be around.
You won't be able to taste anything because you'll lose your sense of smell and taste. But
of course,
it'll still be good.
So
I'll go figure this. He lives in Florida. Doesn't have to worry about no hurricane. We got to worry about the hurricane. We got to worry about all these mask mandates and craziness. And
mashed potatoes. Not a big fan of mashed potatoes. I'll eat them, but they're not on my top.
I love mashed potatoes, but I thought if you've got French fries, really at that point, all you need to do is, and you've got mashed potatoes. So I'm kind of counting those together.
Fries should be number one for everybody. It's just fries. You can't go wrong with French fries.
Sweet
mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is just mac and cheese. It's life. Chips. I pick chips because I love chips with sandwiches, a burger.
Trev, I was thinking about you yesterday. I was sitting on the beach. Me and Tommy are having our nice tuna sandwiches on our fresh Kaiser rolls, hard rolls, and I bought the fresh bag of Cape Cod chips, and we
best chips in the world. Best
the whole stinking bag
in the world. Joe, you got something to say?
No, I'm good.
Oh, you know what we could do is fresh best chips, but we know Trevor.
No, come on, you haven't done it today. I got to give you the floor right now. You got to say something because it's time. It's your one more thing. You got to give me one more thing on this. It's not going to be Yankees. It's going to be.
All right, listen. I think if we're being honest, I don't think you guys are giving Slaw enough of a chance.
Yeah, but
here's why I say this.
It's not a great side dish. It only goes with barbecue.
It's a very specific side dish. It does go great with barbecue, but here's the thing. It's summertime, and if you're not out there barbecuing right now, you're missing out on tremendous slaw opportunities. That's all I'm trying to get at. I think if you unlock a little bit, I'll tell you especially, because it's again, very tart, get yourself a delicious summer slaw. I promise you go summer slaw, and then you'll be looking forward to the fall slaw.
Joe, I did make my own slaw one night when I was doing fresh tacos. So with the fresh cabbage, with the sprinkle of lemon juice, olive oil, you get some salt, some pepper. It's really nice. Slaw poutines.
Slopportunities.
Slopportunities.
Is that number 6?
I might have been. So Joe has a weird obsession with coleslaw. Joe,
I'm glad it's out there.
I'm going to be very. I'm going to
be myself now.
Clear. I'm going to be very clear on this. Coleslaw sucks.
Trev, it's his opinion. How dare you talk to him like that?
Yo, my biggest thing about this before we get off is that he praised this thing for like a half hour, and he put it at number 5.
Well, that's okay. There's 4 better ones. You can.
For him, this was his list. If he really, really loves coleslaw the way he says it, it should have been number 1. So you know what I call that? Fake news.
Trev, look what the last comment on. Put Jared Jones' last comment up and then end it.
If Joe was a murderer, his name would be Jigsaw. Wow. I love it. Oh. Well, we were going to try to do a show tomorrow, but with the impending storm in Connecticut, and it's crazy to think because I live in Florida right now. It's 90 degrees and there's no rain in the forecast. It hasn't been. All of my Connecticut family and friends, all honesty, please be safe as best you can. Shut up, Ted.
There is a storm brewing in Florida, but it's more of a shit storm, I believe. A little different.
What are they calling this hurricane? Hurricane Joslaw?
No, it's Henry. No, Trevor, it's Henry.
It's the D train. It's Derrick Henry.
It's the matter. You don't eat. You
All
don't
in
drink,
all,
you
in
don't
all,
fuck.
everybody in Connecticut, be safe. All your families, all your friends, to all my loved ones, be safe. I'll be calling you guys tomorrow. That's why we're gonna do a show tomorrow, but don't know if you guys are gonna have power. Yeah, you probably will be. You guys are gonna get buried. So Joe, you better go to the store and instead of getting milk and eggs, you better get your coleslaw.
Farmington.
Joe's gonna have to go get his coleslaw and his cauliflower because he might lose his mind if he doesn't get any.
No kidding. I am going to run to the grocery store in a few minutes. Cauliflower's totally on my list, and now that you're saying it, I should get me a nice slaw.
Yeah, but if he loses power, then the mayo's not going to be well. So you want to have stuff that's going to last outside the fridge.
That's why he eats it tonight.
By the way, in Connecticut, if you golf, Hawks Landing in Southington has, if you go to the restaurant after you play your round, get yourself a burger or something, get their slaw. It is, I believe, the best slaw in the state.
You're off the team. Anyways.
Best slaw in the state.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back later in the week. Like I said, we'll be talking. Our top 10 lists are coming to an end, so we'll be starting to preview the AFC and the NFC for the NFL, and then we'll have our 2021-2022 NFL preview season. No more coleslaw talk. That's off limits. No more coleslaw talk. Next week will be our top 5, since we're all Italian, our top 5 Italian dishes we're going to do. So that's what it is. So we're going to do that, and we'll talk more baseball. We'll see how the Yankees.
I already got my top 3.
Okay, good. We'll talk about the Yankees, see how they finish out the week, and see if they can continue this hot streak right now. We are streaming on all social media platforms at Keys to the City, so comment, like, share, subscribe. We are Keys to the City. Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. We are out.
Yeah. Keys to the city, baby. When you see us, so you know you really viewing greatness in the making. Double up on facts we stating. Podcasting, cruise control, city, state, the nation. So what you saying, what we saying, prime information. Facts, keys to the city, we're unlocking the statements.
Streaming every Friday.